I'm so pumped up.
Hey folks, Lee Davy here of the Conscious Endeavour, along with my guest today, Ryan Shanahan. Ryan, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Lee.
So the Conscious Endeavour, what is this all about? What we're trying to impart onto you guys is or make you ask the questions. What do you want in your life? What are you looking for? Are you looking to the future? Are you trying to move away from the past? Do you feel like you're stuck in the present, right here and right now? How do you make these changes, and how do you make them for the better? And how do you move into that life that you've always wanted? And I think by sharing our individual experiences, and Ryan's been kind enough to come on here today and tell us some of the obstacles that he's had to overcome and successes and things he's learned along the way. I think we can all grow and hopefully achieve what we want. So without further ado, Ryan, maybe just tell us a little bit about your background and things you've done in the industry and that sort of thing. Just give us a little bit about how you got to this point in time right now.
Sure, Lee. It was funny because I was sitting down and I'm 39 now and reflecting a lot. And I'm like, how many years have I been personal training for? And it just dawned on me, it's been 25 years of personal training. I started when I was 15. I lied about my age to Gold's Gym in Ajax to get the job. And I just started from training the guys on my football team. And then people in the gym would see me train, get the guys bigger, and then they would ask me for training, and it kind of went on from there. And I've trained all kinds. I've trained in film studios. I've trained ballet dancers, RCMP officers, physically handicapped people, all kinds. Soccer moms. They hate being called soccer moms, but anyways, we know the gist. So I've kind of been around the gambit. It's been 25 years, and still loving it every day. Loving it.
You can't ask for more than that, right? Like it's so important to choose what you're passionate about, right? I mean, so many people, I think, especially now, for some reason, are seem like they feel, or they tell me that they're stuck and they feel like they don't have a choice. Well, I mean, if you follow your passion.
Sure, and sometimes in my experience, when you follow your passion, it always doesn't mean financial reward right away. But when you're following your passion, at least you're putting your energy into something that you enjoy and that will develop, that you enjoy developing. I remember along the road personal training, but I didn't have enough money to pay my rent, so I would go out, and as a 25-year-old, I would go out and shovel driveways for $10 just to accumulate cash. You know what I mean? And it didn't bother me. Right. Yeah. And one of those things is, no matter what you're doing, if you're doing what you're passionate about or not, give it your best. Doesn't matter what you're doing, just give it your best.
Absolutely.
And good things will happen when you do that.
Absolutely. I agree. Maybe go into, actually, just before we get to this, maybe go into a little more detail. So you did some training. I know you're really kind of instrumental in bringing kettlebells to the foreground, even though they're not a new tool per se, but you kind of brought them back again. I think you had a big handle on that. Maybe tell a little bit the trials and tribulations, how you got into that, and things you had to overcome along the way. And I know you just got done with a little bit of a battle on the end of that story. So tell us a little bit about that. If you don't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, where do I start? It's kind of start. It's I've actually sold the most kettlebell DVDs out of anyone that's put anyone on. I'm the top selling kettlebell DVD. So
Kettleworks.
It's called Kettleworks, and when you do that, you can kind of pat yourself on the back. It's wow, I achieved the best selling over 3 million units sold. So that's pretty good, when
pretty successful.
Yeah, and when you're doing it, it's a lot of hard work, and you're just boom, grinding. And then when you can kind of look back and reflect, is hey, you proved it to yourself that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's days when, trust me, I felt like quitting, and people would, especially on the internet, would say rude things to me that would make you want to quit. And that was one of the most challenging things, was developing that, what I call rhinoceros skin, that thick skin where you don't let negativity or negative people or words affect you or stop you from your goal. You should really keep your eye on the prize.
Absolutely.
And
it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, absolutely not. And but it was, even those sunshine, when it got dark clouds and stuff, when you look back, it's kind of like, hey, I weathered that storm. Mm-hmm. And it actually, the bad times are actually kind of fun looking back on them. They're not always fun when it happens, but it's fun once the storm has passed.
Sure. I think the biggest thing to remember is that those are the times that we learn and grow the most. At least that's what I feel. I mean, if everything's smooth sailing all the time, it doesn't force you to go deep in and be like, okay, like, what's this trying to teach me? Why is this so challenging? Like, should I quit or should I, like, it doesn't make you ponder those hard questions. When I think, when you're going through it, it forces you to go inside and be like, can I do this? Do I want this? Yeah, I can. I do. And it forces you to figure out how.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to expand on that point, Lee, is there's different people that you'll run into in your life. There's great people that will teach you positive things that you enjoy being around, like you, Lee. You've taught me so much.
Likewise.
And it's been almost 15 years that we keep kind of crossing paths and learning.
Each other.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also people that will kind of take you down, or evil people. Someone that
will fear-based.
Yeah, will give you a hard time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Steal from you, whatever. But here's the thing: is those good people, bad people, they're there in your life to teach you a lesson. It's all you're going to learn something at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And so those evil people, don't ever hold a grudge against them. Look at them as a teacher also. And when you can do that, it's better for your soul, your personal soul, and less tension creating.
And it completely changes your outlook, right? If you're looking at them as like, oh, fuck you, like, why do you like this? You're so mean to me, and kind of having self-pity versus like, okay, like, this sucks. You're not a very nice person. But what are you trying to teach me right now? And,
right.
And they say that everyone comes into your life as a mirror. Right? So what is that mirror trying to show you, either about yourself or your situation, and how do you learn from it?
So does that mean your abs are a mirror of my abs? I hope so.
So, what would you say is the most challenging thing about what you do?
Just people out there saying you can't, or it's a stupid idea. That's the challenging thing, is just being able to just brush it off your shoulder and hurdle over and keep progressing forward. That was the most challenging thing.
And how did you do that? So it's more like listening to yourself versus listening to what's being said or is going on around you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what I found is when someone says that's a bad idea, mm-hmm. it's generally a good idea. Mm-hmm. For not every time, but I would say 9 out of 10. And always listen to people, but don't listen to them too much.
Yeah. I mean, you don't. What's that quote? The people that are busy saying that it can't be done are being passed by the people that are doing it, or something. It's something to that degree. I can't remember. Can't remember exactly what it is. I'll find it for you guys. What's the most amazing thing about what you do over the years, and maybe on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, just the most amazing thing that I get to do is, oh boy, there's so much. Personal development, mm-hmm. And then meeting great people. I mean, every time I come into this gym, I meet someone new and fantastic, and someone I learn from. I learned a new warm-up move today, just coming into the gym. And that's amazing. You're always learning something new.
After 25 years.
Yeah, after 25 years. You know what I mean? And just personal development and creating relationships and my family. At the end of the day, it's so nice to kind of go home and even if my wife kind of gives me crap for not taking out the garbage, it's still nice that someone's giving you crap. You know what I mean? And then your kids run up and give you a hug and stuff like that. And that's not easy, but it's amazing that you're able to do that. And it's just creation. I think that's the most amazing thing I get to do is create in this world, and that's something that you're not just sitting and watching things go by. You can do that, but you can also get out there and actually create something too.
Absolutely. And I think whether you're talking about your family or whether you're talking about the wisdom that you impart onto your clients about trying to better themselves or trying to improve and grow. At the end of the day, it's all about that human connection.
Right.
And
I think you and I, we are strong believers in you can influence by doing. So,
absolutely.
What we talk about, we actually live and do. Any advice we give you is not just because we read it in a book. We might have read it in a book and then went out and experienced it and applied it, and then, that really works. There's a puzzle piece, and then you can share that.
Absolutely. And I think experience is the key. I mean, I hear often from people, that won't work for me.
Right.
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
No, it just won't work for me. Yeah. How do you know?
Yeah. I hear that every day.
You have to try it.
Right.
If you don't try it, you don't know. Simple as that. Like, you have experience is, it's the key. You have to experience as many things as you can and try them out. Don't just do it once. Do it 3 or 4 times, and then you can say, okay, yeah, I'm not feeling this. This isn't quite my cup of tea, and then try the next thing. But you have to try.
Yeah, and that's what I did with Grateful Dead. I've tried to listen to that. I've listened. Everyone says Grateful Dead is the best band in the world, and I've listened again and again. I just don't get it. I appreciate it, but I don't get it. So I've experienced it. Yeah, I've experienced it, and I've made a decision. But you can't make a decision if you've never heard the music, okay?
You gotta try.
Yeah, you gotta listen to the music.
So, you touched on this just a little bit, but how did you come to be the Kettlebell Guy? How'd your path materialize?
All right,
in this industry?
We're gonna go way back here, okay? Because I was into BMX freestyling, and every weekend my dad would take me into a bookstore, Lickman's. He wouldn't buy me toys or candy or anything like that. You remember Lickman's?
No, I remember Licks.
Yeah, it was Lickman's bookstore, since taken over by the big guys. But that's what my dad kind of always said. A book is never wasted money. No. So I would buy books on BMX freestyling and stuff like that. And then one day I saw a cover. It was a guy, a big, huge muscle guy in the front. Happened to be Dolph Lundgren. Yeah. And the magazine was Muscle and Fitness. Yeah, right. It was he was promoting the He-Man movie. And I was like, hey, that's the guy in Rocky IV, Drago. And so I picked it up, and I said, hey, Dad, this is what I want to buy. And he looked, and he was like, okay, this is different, but I'll promote it, or I'll support it. And it was from that moment that I was just immersed myself into the health and fitness world.
The muscle.
Yeah. And then the kettlebell thing was just, I was the first guy in Toronto to use the Swiss balls. I actually ordered them from Germany, the Sissel ones. I started a class. I knew people would laugh at me.
I think we all went through that phase.
Yeah.
Standing on them, jumping on them.
Right. And but people would like, what are you doing? Are you a circus actor and stuff? Now it's
functional training.
Yeah. But now every gym has a Swiss ball, right? It's just common knowledge. And then when I came across the kettlebell, everything about the kettlebell was very similar to the Swiss ball. People laughed at me, although people that used it really enjoyed it. So it was, you know what? This is it. I want to spread the good word about the kettlebell and create a system. And this is my thing that I'm going to push. I'm going to put all my knowledge that I've accumulated and use the kettlebell as my tool to express that knowledge. Yeah, the vehicle. Right, exactly. Nice. And then there you go.
And that was, I think, quite a bit of foresight on your behalf. That was that. So how long have you had the Kettle Works?
Well, my first Kettlebell DVD came out in 2004.
2004.
And then Kettlebell Works came out in 2010.
And how long had you been doing it before the DVD came out?
Probably 2000, when I was a doorman at a club, and one of the other fellow doormen was Russian. And, doormen, we have nothing better to do except, try to get girls' phone numbers, but it doesn't really happen. And we'll talk about lifting weights. So the Russian guy and I talked about lifting weights. We started working out, and he had a kettlebell, and the rest is history. Yeah.
So back in 2000, so that's, like, the craze didn't really start. I mean, like I said, you kind of started that craze. So to have that kind of foresight before anybody was talking about it is, it's pretty amazing that you're able to kind of look at that ball with a handle on it and be like, yeah, this could be a really big.
Yeah, I've always had a knack for picking cool things out before they've become cool. Mm-hmm. I've always had a knack. Music, clothes, haircuts, all that stuff. I just kind of always can be able to spot it. And
having that vision, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a gift or just kind of a skill learned and being open to opportunity instead of saying, "Oh no, that's not going to work," like you said. Mm-hmm. It's like, "Oh, let's see what that is, experience it, and go from there."
See where it can go.
Yeah.
Gift and a curse, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks, just stay on after the webinar. We're going to have our contact info up, how you can reach Ryan and get in touch with him and some of the things that he's doing. I'm going to be doing some free 1-hour calls if you want to delve into your life and try to figure out what's going on, if we can help in any way and change your life. So stay tuned for the end of that. Okay, so we touched on it a little bit. Is there anything that really stands out in your mind? Because I know a lot of times people are like, oh, I can't do that, or I'm stuck, or I don't have the money, or what are the barriers and boundaries to entry that you had to go through, to really make a splash in this industry and get to where you were? What did you have to overcome?
Everything. I've never had anything handed to me. I've always been the guy that had to win by outworking the other person. And trust me, hockey teams, business, girls, anything, learning, I've always had to achieve it by action and overworking and believing in myself. And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating because sometimes you put out this great effort, and still people don't that are up coaches or teachers or whatever fellow co-workers still don't recognize that hard work that you put in. And what the important thing, the barrier that I had to overcome, was learning that it doesn't matter what they think. It's a matter of what you think about your effort. Are you proud of it? Are you the actions, are they moving you forward? And eventually, when you put in the actions and you believe in yourself, then you smash that barrier, and then you get to the other side.
How did you get to that point? Did you always have this radical self-belief and like, yeah, I can do anything? Or, because I know a lot of people, myself included, is like, am I really good enough to do this? Like, do I really have the, so how did you tune into that and then carry that forward?
I always really did think that something special was waiting for me. Ever since I was a little kid, you know what I mean? Like playing by myself, pretending I was scoring the Stanley Cup goal.
I did that.
Yeah. And there you go. Yeah. So you believed in yourself, right? And I think somewhere along the line that we lose that belief or fantasy. And I think it's very important that you always keep that fantasy in your life, and that little spark. Don't let anyone put that flame out, because when you do, it's really hard to kind of rekindle it.
Absolutely.
Then you got to go through a lot of things to kind of put that flame back on, but you can't do it. It's not like it's just extinguished forever. You can still relight it.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I've always felt something special. I've always felt special, and that I had a gift to share. And it's just don't let anyone stop you sharing that gift.
And I think we all have one.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, more than one, obviously, but I think we all have that one thing that we can do better than anybody else. And, it's just, like you said, believing in it and having the courage to put it out into the world, because, you are going to have the naysayers and the people that are going to be like, like, who are you to be special and, going out and doing these things. And that's more often because they feel bad about themselves for not reaching to the same heights that you are.
But can I expand on that?
Yeah,
that's interesting. There's a trainer that, and I there's a lot of guys that talk shit about me. Are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, swear away.
Yeah. So there's a lot of guys that talk shit about me and on the internet, or I can overhear them in the other room at a gym and stuff like that. And it's funny because I used to be like that. I remember there was this trainer. He was very successful, and I never knew why, because he was kind of an asshole, and I would talk shit about him and be negative about him, and then every time, the more negative I thought about him, the more successful this guy got. And then there was a point where I said, well, maybe I should just kind of take a look at what this guy's doing. He's doing something right. And at that point, when I said, change my view of that person, of negative to, okay, he's doing positive, I want to learn, that's when my success started going up. And it's really kind of about your focus on life. Like, are you looking at things negative, or are you looking at things positive? I know it's such an old cliche thing, but it's true. It's very true. So true. Why do you think John Lennon had rose-colored glasses on?
Absolutely true. And I think when you learn to celebrate other people's wins and successes, it gives you permission to actually celebrate your small wins and successes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the more you celebrate, the more it's kind of like being grateful. The more you're grateful for it, the more that you bring to your table. Right.
Don't celebrate too much, though. Okay. Don't.
No, I mean, you got to work too. Like, you can't just sit back and be like, "Hey, I'm so grateful. Stuff's coming in." You got to work, obviously. But I think if you have an attitude of gratitude, then it brings more of those things that you're grateful for into your life.
Yeah. And when you have a victory, pat yourself on the back. Give yourself 24 hours, and then get back onto the grind. And if you have a defeat, you know what I mean? 24 hours, have a few beers or something, and then get back onto the grind. Okay, so don't get too high, don't get too low. Always stay even.
Now you talked about working so hard. Now I want to go back to that just for a second, because I know a lot of people that will really zero in on that, and that's all that they do. So there's no balance there. So did you find that, and if not, how did you maintain balance?
Oh, absolutely. I had no balance at all. I busted my butt until I had success. In order to get something, you've got to sacrifice something. Okay, and so I sacrificed a lot of stuff. I would stay up all night. I wouldn't be able to spend time with my family, my kids. I missed out on play stuff because I was grinding to get that win. But what's great is when you get that win and you've sacrificed, you don't have to sacrifice again to get the next win, because you've wired yourself and you've taught yourself how to do it. So it becomes a lot easier.
Did you sacrifice everything, though? Because I know people that'll sacrifice their health.
Oh, absolutely. I sacrificed everything. I sacrificed everything. I know it, but I sacrificed everything.
I don't want you guys to sacrifice everything.
But here's the thing is, when you sacrifice, you get it. But then you're like, you don't have to sacrifice it again. So moving forward, then you can add the balance. I am now very balanced. And because I know, okay, I don't have to, I know how to do that now.
Sure.
Now it's like, okay, now I'm doing more family stuff and more health stuff and all kinds of fun stuff. But you can sacrifice. And if anyone's in their 20s, now's the time. You know what I mean? Now, 20s is when you can sacrifice a lot and still come out on a good positive outcome.
We might have to have a full other webinar between us two, just arguing those 2 points. So life has its ups and downs. I mean, we talked about a few of them, but what about some of the things that you actually do to deal with the downs and then get recharged for more and more of the ups? I mean, you mentioned have a few beers and stuff like that, but if you get knocked down, how do you get back up again? And if you get knocked down repeatedly, because those are the times I think that people really start to, almost go into that depression where it's like, no matter what I try, it can't be done. Like, I can't do it. I keep getting met with this resistance. So, when you keep getting knocked down, what are some of your tips for?
Well, I think that's kind of life's filter. Mm-hmm. So, not everyone's going to be, not everyone can have six-pack abs. You got to work for them, right? I mean, not everyone has six-pack abs. It's not easy to get, correct? Would you agree with me, six-pack abs? Yeah. There's a lot of preparation and daily maintenance and blah, blah, blah.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's with anything. When you get knocked down, most people stay down. It's the facts, okay? But it doesn't mean you can't get back up. And then if you keep getting back up, life says, the universe, whatever you want to think, it says, okay, this guy paid his dues, let's open the gates and let him through. That's the way it works. So if you're down, get back up, don't quit, because eventually something good is going to happen, and you look back and you say, wow, I'm glad I didn't quit. And nothing worth having is easy to get.
No, absolutely. So how do you get back up?
How?
What do you tell yourself?
You just get back up. I mean, how do you get out of bed every day? You know what I mean? You put 2 feet on the floor, you stand up, and you march. You keep marching forward. You do it. You have to come up with that never quit attitude.
But why? I don't like my job. I don't like my body. I got to work to pay the bills, but I hate my job. I can't get out of that. So, and I have to work 15 hours a day, so I can't work out. I'm too tired because I don't have time to eat at work. What's the use? What's the point?
Oh, you just gave me a headache. I mean,
that's what I hear, man. That's what I hear day in, day out. So what do you say to that? How do you deal with that, and how do you tell that person that, yes, you are worth, you're worth more than your job, and you can take the time to eat. And if you get fired, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. So, and then it's like they're in that rut. So how do they get out of it? Especially when you're right in it. Like on the outside looking in, it's like, yeah, like you can do this, this, and this. But when you're in it, it's like, fuck, I'm going around. I can't. Like, where does it end?
Tell me, how do you get out of that rut? How do you get out?
This question's for you.
No, I'm flipping it.
I think it's you have to do small, incremental, progressive changes, and you have to do things that are within your control. So if you're in meetings all day and you can't eat, prepare just powdered shakes, protein shakes. All you got to do is put the water in, boom, on the way to your next meeting and done. So at least throughout the course of the day, you've had 3 shakes. You can have a couple of meals when you get home. So now you've taken care of your nutrition. If you're at work and you're on the go all the time, do 10 bodyweight squats every hour. You know how long it takes to do 10 bodyweight squats? 10 seconds, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now you've done a little bit of exercise at least. On the weekends, do your workouts on the weekends. Do 2 a days on the weekends. So now you've got 4 workouts in 2 days. Right? So there are small things that you can do to control yourself, to control some of the circumstances. If you're spend 2 hours in the car every day, instead of giving people the finger and fuck you, this guy cut me off, and that thing and the other thing, it's like, go inside, make that car your sanctuary, focus on your breathing. Put one hand on your belly button, put a Deepak Chopra CD in, listen to him. Obviously don't close your eyes, but do mindful breathing and meditations and that sort of thing, and let go of the chaos in that outside world. You're not going to change the traffic. It's Toronto, right? So do some of these things that you can control, and then when your mind starts to declutter, because you're not focused on all this external bullshit anymore, it will declutter and it'll settle, and you'll get to a point where, okay, I do have a little bit of control. And the more of that you do and gain, the more of that you'll have, and you'll feel like you have more control and can do more and more. And then eventually the job will change, and eventually, you will get on the career path that you want to get onto. So it's just taking those very small things and adding them up and being like, okay, I can't do much about my job right now, but I can control what I eat, or that I'm having shake, or that I'm going to the bathroom. Like some people will put off going to the bathroom because they're so busy at work. Like, take control.
So don't wish life is easier. Make yourself better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Bruce Lee has another great quote. I'm gonna have to find these quotes for you guys. Do not wish for an easy life. Instead, wish for a difficult one and the strength to endure. Something along those lines. I don't think it's exactly that.
And here's the thing: is these people aren't making this stuff up. You know what I mean? These aren't just great writers. This is people that have gone through and experienced it and won, and then they're sharing that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
So why can't you do it? Of course, you can do the same thing.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Just journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first one. So just take that first step. It doesn't have to be monumental. Just take a little one. Whew! That was good. So what inspired you, Ryan? How do you stay motivated, and then what things do you tell to continue to motivate and help others?
What motivates me is just continued self-development and experiencing things, learning, seeing the world. I mean, waking up every day is what inspires me, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
How do I motivate others is a lot of different ways. And as a fitness trainer, just showing up is 50% success. So having an appointment with me and someone coming and saying, listen, for the past 5 years, I've been partying and drinking and going to the comfort zone, but I've had enough.
Shady place.
Yeah, exactly. I heard that the other day. And I was like, okay, we got a lot of work to do. And the person actually threw up after the warm-up. And but then she came back and she kept training, and now she's like, wow, I really feel a difference in my life. So what did I do? All I did was I showed up, and I was there on time waiting for this person, and put them through the actions to make their body healthier and cleanse it and detoxify it. And their own minds were able to come out of that gloom and come into more of a positive light. So, you have to, I'm just there for people.
I was just going to say, it's almost like
you make yourself available. Right.
Available. Yeah.
Right.
That's phenomenal. So true. And so many people just need that, someone to keep them accountable and be there for them.
Yeah, and you want to see people succeed.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, this is why we're doing this, right?
100%. Yeah.
And it's free. We're not even asking for any money. We're giving this to you for free.
We want to help you guys.
Right.
Right. There's a great quote when you talked about just getting up each morning. Einstein said that there are two ways to look at the world. One is as if nothing is a miracle. The other as if everything is.
Yeah.
Life is a miracle.
Yeah. Well said.
Now we talked about the money success and doing what you're passionate about and not necessarily the passion translating into money or success. So what exactly does success mean to you, and how would you measure it?
Sure. Well, I'd like to start off by saying money does not bring happiness. Okay? Success does bring happiness. And success is generally you achieving your personal goals, no matter what they are. Are they fitness? Are they business? Are they relationship? Are they artistic? It's you have an idea in your head and then you get it out. That's success. Okay? And then there's ways to monetize that. And that's fun, you know what I mean? And then it brings you more success and, okay, I want to go travel. Okay, and then successful is there's that dream vacation I've always thought about, and now I'm here. That's success.
So achieving your goals.
Yeah.
Achieving your goals is what it boils down to, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, and whatever way you have to achieve those goals, you go and you do it.
And what keeps you reaching for that ultimate success? Is it
what personal goals? You know what I mean? I've got things that I want to achieve, and I'm going to go out and achieve them. That's what keeps me going. There's things I want to do. Why?
To inspire others. What would be the underlying, I guess, nugget if you could pinpoint?
Personal happiness. If I go out and I'm driving in a car trip and a good song comes on, and my 3-year-old son is in the back singing along to a Bob Marley song, I look back and that's happiness. And he's happy singing. I'm happy that he knows a Bob Marley song, and I'm driving, and this is something I created. That is why I go out and do things. Basically, see my wife smile, see my little kid smile, and see myself smile. That's why I do it. And then today, we went out and we filmed. I see so much. Leah's so gifted, and so then I had my artistic foresight, and we did a YouTube video today. You can watch it. Most extreme shoulder mass exercises.
It was hard ass workout.
Yeah, it was great. And then his gift and my gift came together, and we created something. And I'm happy. That's success. And it wasn't like it took a few weeks. I had to cancel, and he was like, he could have said, "Oh, what a goofball! I'm busy. Doesn't he realize that?"
No,
but he was
schedule's busy,
right. And he's not an amateur. He's a professional. So it's two professionals getting together and creating something amazing, and that is success. And isn't this a great feeling? Yeah. So why not continue having great feelings in life? Why go and do things that hurt you?
That's it's a pretty. It's such a simple statement, but such a profound one. Why not continue to have great feelings in life?
Right. And I mean, some people like being the victim. So you have to make a choice in your life of, okay, I'm sick and tired of being a victim, and you stop being it.
Yeah, I do have a choice, and I can make a change.
Right. And, I mean, you and we could be victims.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got enough stuff happening in us that we could play the victim role. But no, we play the leader role. And it's something that's a personal choice. No one came and said, you are a leader. You know what I mean? We know we are leaders because we decided to be leaders. And nothing else.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, if you fall down 6 times, get up 7.
Right.
Victims don't do that. State the obvious, but it's true.
Right, and then some people will go down and pat the victim and then steal their wallet. You know what I mean? There's another choice you can
We don't do that.
No, right.
Are you okay? Is there anything major that you think you had to change in order to reach some of your goals? And how did you make that change? Like, was there, I don't know, were there any situations that you were like, you're going down a path and you're like spending time and money and whatever else, and then it was like, this isn't working, like I gotta, and then how did you get out of that path and get into the right one?
I definitely think you have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And a example of a story that I can share with you is, I developed the Kettlebell Works program, and it became the #1 selling kettlebell program in the world. And then I was like, I want to go out and have other ideas. I want to do some other programs. But that Kettlebell Works had me trapped. I wasn't able to have creative freedom because of contractual agreements. So I had to leave the comfort of that Kettlebell Works and regular paycheck in order to go out and create my new goals. So I had to get out of that comfort zone, and I feel great. I was actually feeling I was comfortable, but I felt pain and kind of almost an itchy feeling. And then once I left that, I felt amazing. And it wasn't there wasn't the same money. Money does not bring you happiness. Okay? It was the freedom to be able to create and make choice that brought the happiness. So
and reach for another goal.
Right. Yeah. So the long story short is get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And when that happens, really nice things happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. All right, guys, just we're almost done here. We got a little bit more to go. A few more questions for Ryan. But again, just stick around after, and we'll get contact info so you guys can get a hold of us, and we can do some one-on-one stuff for you. Is there anything that you do specifically to really improve your own life and that of your families, and then also that you would impart on your clients? Anything beyond what we've said or discussed so far?
Just to kind of touch on what we said earlier was to lead by example. I think that's very important. Live a healthy life, live a happy life, and that will kind of shine out and affect other people. I mean, you can't be miserable and then go and tell someone to be happy. Okay?
No.
You got to be happy, and then even then you can't tell someone to be happy. They have to make that decision in their life. But if you're happy, then people will see that and say, well, if he's happy, I can be happy too. Why not? Another thing, as I've gotten a little bit older, is to, because I'm kind of an A-type personality, I go out, I'm gung-ho, I make things happen. I was building a lot of tension, muscular tension. And that muscular tension was bringing on a lot of kind of bad health issues. So what I've done is learned how to relieve muscular tension and kind of become a little more zen. And
balance, that yin and yang balance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so now I'm learning how to do that, and that feels better. Feels much better. More oxygen flowing to your muscles, more healthy, less back pain. So yeah, just manage tension, and yeah, it's funny. I've gone from benching 3 plates to becoming the guy in the yoga class now.
Nice.
In the back, so I can see the downward dogs.
Did you find it hard to make that switch, or was it just time?
Well, it wasn't hard to make the switch, but it was yeah, right. It was a timely thing to find that decision. So it took a long time to come to that idea. But once I found the idea, I can switch like that.
So it's like being ready, being open for it.
Right.
Too, right?
Right. And so if someone said, hey, you got to be more relaxed, bro. No, I can't be relaxed. I got to be tense. And that was what Lee was saying before. No. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll try it. And then, hey, this is good. It works.
And I think the balance is such an important thing, because especially with type A's, and especially with people and young professionals and that sort of thing in Toronto, because it's always go. It's that go mentality, and for me, it's like train hard, you work hard, you play hard. Like all you're doing is hard. So when is your opportunity? It's like driving the piss out of a car on the highway every day and never getting a tune-up. So when's your time for a tune-up? So that rest and the yoga and the meditation and the therapy sessions and the fuel that you put into your body, like those things are so important. And many people that are just one or the other don't take care of the other half.
Right.
And you have to.
Right. And that's part of life, is learning to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one exercise, one way to reduce stress, and one nutrition takeaway to help change people's lives today.
Okay. When you say exercise, can that just be like a daily life exercise, or does it have to be like a physical movement exercise?
No, it can be just something to get the blood flowing. It could be gymnastics, or like a power walk, or everybody's different, right? And people are going to go to their own level of fitness, but
well, movement is improvement. So
sure.
just get up and do some movement. Is it playing frisbee? Is it walking the dog? Is it going to the gym? Get some movement in your daily life. It's not waking up, getting on the subway, going to work, and then going back home. That's not movement. Okay, some sort of movement that is going to make you feel better. So yoga, find that movement that makes you feel better. Go out and find it and do it.
It's something you enjoy, I think.
Right? Yeah.
Sure.
Is it Muay Thai? Is it yoga? Is it ramp training? Is it kettlebells? Or is it stretching for 10 minutes before you go to bed? Find it and do it. Don't just talk about it. Don't think about it. Do it. One way to reduce stress is to have some morning motivation. So every time you wake up in the morning, you put your feet on the ground and you say, "Today is a great day." Okay, because then you've now framed up that day to be great. And when the day is going to be great, there's less stress about it. Okay, you don't wake up and go, "Okay, I'm late, so this is going to happen. I'm scared of that meeting." Just no, today is a great day, and then you just go step by step. Okay, it's a great way to reduce stress. Yeah. And then so after you give your morning motivation, you go down, and the first thing you do before you drink the cup of coffee, you cut a lemon in half. You get a nice glass of filtered water, squeeze half the lemon in, boom. You alkalize the body. Okay, so you've got your mind working, you've got your inside of your body working, you've got the movement that's making you improved. Dude, anything you want in life is right there for you to go out and grab.
Nice.
You've got, those are the actions, and they're so simple. So simple. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, such simple takeaways. Do you have 2 or 3 more that kind of like if you were to say, this is what you can do and this is the problem it's going to solve? Any other kind of takeaways for people?
Well, this is where I'm going to send viewers over. Go to Google and punch in Ryan Shanahan Trainerology. Okay, because I have a full 50-step program on how to become a successful personal trainer. And I put personal trainer, but it can be a successful anything. Okay, whatever you're doing, you just plug that in. You follow these rules. And it's free. I was charging $99 for it, but now I've made it free. It's a PDF floating out there. You just have to Google it. Ryan Shanahan Trainerology. You get 50, not 2 or 3 takeaway points, 50 success points. And all you got to do is follow that. And so many people have emailed me and reached out to me and said, "Ryan, it's amazing. Those simple little things have totally changed my life and for the better." So yeah, go check it out.
Nice. Yeah, it doesn't have to be difficult. Keep it simple, stupid. What's that?
Yeah.
The KISS principle.
Yeah, KISS.
Anything else you want to add today?
Lee, you've been a great inspiration, motivation for me, and I thank you for having me here and talking to your viewers and listeners here. And so this is good. This makes me happy. So thanks for doing this. And check out our extreme shoulder video. It's awesome.
It's coming up. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on today and giving of your time once again. We did this once before and I deleted everything. So it's great to have you back and hopefully we can change some lives with this.
Awesome.
Beautiful. I don't think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Actually, let's do those.
Do little sound bites and stuff. Yeah. That was good. It's actually second time was better.
Yeah, a little more comfortable there. Let's actually just do this one too. I know we touched on it a little bit, but so I know we did touch on this a little bit. Someone that's really stuck in that rut and needing to make a change right now in their life for the better, but they don't know where to begin. Give us 3 quick ones.
All right. Something that I personally use is if I'm in a bit of a rut, what I do is I visually and mentally think back to when things were good. Okay, so there was that hockey game that I scored 3 goals. There was that time I was on the beach, and I looked good, I felt good. There was that time I had the business meeting, and I was like firing all cylinders, and I was leading, and I had control of the room. I go back and I think to those times, and what was I doing to get to those times? What made them so good? How was I training for the hockey? How was I eating for look good on the beach? How was I mentally thinking for those business meetings? How was I preparing? And I take myself back to that and grab it and bring it to the present day, those elements. And then it's like magic. The rut, you get out of the rut, and all of those good things come back. So you've got that memory bank. So go in there and take advantage of it. Take those memories out and put them into your body and utilize them. They're there for your use. So
that's great.
Don't keep them in the bank. Take it out and spend it.
Yeah, it's like it's almost another form of positive visualization, right? But you're actually going a step further and not just visualizing what you want, but you're using a past feeling to enhance where you are currently.
Right. You're not visualizing the unknown.
I like that.
So I'm not visualizing that Lamborghini that I don't own or I've never owned that I want. I'm visualizing what I've already have. It's a lot easier, and you can draw that energy out.
Love it. Beautiful. All right, that's it, folks. We'll set up the contact info. Actually, if you want to tell them how to get a hold of you, Ryan, go ahead and do that now, and then we'll put it up on the screen after as well.
Yeah, my website is ryanraw.com. That's where all my online personal training is. And then also check me out on YouTube. Best thing to do is just go to Google or any search engine, punch in Ryan Shanahan, and all kinds of good things will come up. And
25 years worth of
you'll find something that hopefully will stick. And Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff is up there. And hopefully you'll come in and we'll share it together.
Beautiful. Thanks, Pat.